Welcome to the Leonard Peikoff Show.
Hi.
What do you think, Gary?
Based on the two you gave us, it looks like modern society's denigration of the intellect in deference to unbridled emotionalism.
Denigration of the... Do you say it's a... Let me just get this down, because I don't take shorthand. Denigration of the intellect as against unbridled emotion.
In deference to the unbridled emotionalism.
Now, how is it... Let's see, where is the denigration of the intellect here, Gary?
Well, it seems that in both cases, if you feel something, you respond to that. You don't necessarily have to have a reasoned response or even an understanding of what you're doing. It's just, I feel a certain way, so I'll act accordingly. And however, your actions justification for your feelings, and your feelings are justification for your actions.
Okay, Gary, if I say one word, I'm going to spoil this contest. All I can say is it's a really nice try, but it's too early, because I'll have to bring the third one in so you can see that there's another dimension. You couldn't really get it on these two, but you're as close as you could get. So thank you, Gary.
All right, thank you.
And a nice try. Before I take anybody else, let me tell you one third one, just so you'll have an idea that it's a little more than unbridled emotional response or lack of self-discipline, which is what the first two callers said. So you people waiting on the line, you can hear this, so you can add this into your calculations. Take this as number 3, government legislation of morality. Now, on the face of it, that certainly is very different from lack of self-discipline or unbridled emotion. So let's develop this one. This is the third item. Number 1 was violence, increasing violence at sporting events. Number 2, youth gang warfare. Number 3 on the same list, and this is really stretch you into a tie-in, government legislation of morality. This is, by the way, for those of you who know the history of philosophy, this one was started up by Plato. And he and all of his followers to this day argue that there's a crucial knowledge of morality, of right and wrong, good and evil, that the general public is incapable of knowing. People, they say, are blind, they're ignorant, they're held down by concern for money, money-grubbing, sex, materialistic concerns. They don't know what's good because what's good is a spiritual issue. It comes from another dimension. It comes from God, and most people are cut off from this dimension. Have you ever heard the well, what can you do when you have to deal with people? Plato said you can't try to persuade people or teach the mass of people what's good because they're caught in the cave of worldly concerns, money, sex, and matter. So the only thing we can do is let the few enlightened who have been able to grasp the Word of God become rulers and enact the proper morality by law. In other words, enforce it by statute. So that they say, if you're going to have people obey a moral code, people won't do it voluntarily because they can't get the revelations that they need on their own. So we must have government legislation of morality. We must step in, censor literature, TV shows, mandate prayer, prohibit abortion, whatever the particular concrete is that they think is crucial. Now, we have really different types of examples here. We have violence at sporting events, youth gangs clashing over a turf war, and legislators in Washington decreeing certain rules of morality as a matter of law. Now, nobody can say that that is self-evident. I got a whole board of people here, so we're going to try and see how many people got an idea and try to get to hear from you all. All right, on line 8, James, did that last one help as a clue?
Oh, yeah.
What do you have to say, James?
Well, in each case, each example, you're sacrificing or turning over your belief for the sake of a group.
Sacrificing your belief for a group, I don't see that. For instance, in the morality case, where they legislate morality, on the contrary, they're trying to impose their view, their belief on a group. They think, for instance, that abortion is wrong.
Well, what I'm saying is that the government is attempting to make the individual conform.
Yeah,
sacrifice their.
Well,
their
the government is definitely doing that. But how does that? What does that tell you? What is the government is? But that would be true of any legislation.
Oh, that's true of the team or the gang or the government. They're all doing that.
They're all doing what? They're all causing somebody to sacrifice? Is that the idea?
Yes, and they're all legislating morality.
Well, that's a nice try, James, but there's a deeper reason. In all of these three cases, something is going on mentally, and it produces something going on physically, and it's the connection between the mental and the physical. So I think what you're saying is, it's true they're all trying to get something from somebody else against the will of the other person. But you're not saying what they're doing mentally or physically to do that, to accomplish that. Thank you, James. I appreciate your call. On line 7, I got people on the staff guessing to on line 7. Welcome Richard to the show.
Hi, Leonard.
Hi, Richard. Now, you're not an expert. It sounds to me from the way you said hi that you've been on quite a bit of this show, right?
No.
No?
Nope. My own person.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I think that the number one primary cause of all our problems today is a lack of a good philosophy.
Okay.
Good, sound, modern philosophy.
Yeah.
And as a consequence of that, partially, we've turned out to be a superficial, selfish, emotionally programmed society where government encourages amorality and immorality. By its conduct and for its own purposes of control.
Well, now take us through the first one. The increasing violence at sporting events has nothing to do with the government, right? I mean, as far as I understand it, these are private events that has nothing to do with the government. They're private leagues, franchises, fans paying money. So it does nothing to do with the government, right?
Yeah, it certainly does.
What?
Because if the government was a moral government, an honest government, and if it behaved in an exemplary way so that we had good role models, we wouldn't behave like spoiled brats.
Well, you're sort of taking the side of those who say it's the function of government to organize our lives morally.
Oh, no. No, it's not.
Or to give us the inspiration to live morally.
No, it is not the function of government to exercise morality or inflict their morality on us. But it is our responsibility to learn the truth and to gain insights into what the world is all about.
Well, I think you're right, but I don't think you put your finger on what's common to these cases, so I have to give you a nice try.
What's common to all these cases is the second thing I mentioned, is the emotional programming.
There is definitely a strong element that has been pointed out by Donna and by Gary and now by you. There is definitely an emotional element, but you haven't told us what exact kind of emotional element and what it does.
Well,
so I have to say, Richard, you got your chance.
When people are so selfish that they act out of their own best interest and have no regard for the interests of others.
Well, thank you, Richard, but that is not the answer I had in mind. You listen and you'll see. I appreciate your call. Thank you. Let's try on line 9. Dave, welcome to the Leonard Peikoff Show.
Hi. I heard you say something on the radio. Does that count? You gave a definition of a mystic answer?
If you hear it on the radio, that's okay.
Oh, you gave a definition of a mystic answer.
Yes.
And it was a mystic solution. I don't remember what it was. It was, I tell you something.
Right.
Like the call was bad.
Right.
Or abortion is wrong.
Right.
Or that's my corner.
Yeah.
If you understand, no explanation is necessary.
Right.
If you don't, none is possible.
Right.
And just as profanity has been called a weak mind expressing itself, like if I say you're full of crap and then spend the next hour saying you're full of crap instead of saying why.
Right.
Violence is a weak mind and an undisciplined mind expressing itself.
Do you want to add to that?
Well, so in all cases, like the call was wrong. Well, why was the call wrong? Well, because it was wrong. Because if it was right, it would go my way.
Yeah.
So since I have no discipline, and since I've been told that I am the center of all things, I can do what I want.
And in the youth gang case?
Same thing. It's my wall. Well, why is it your wall? You don't own a title to it. Because it's my wall. I can spray on it and you can't. I told you something. You don't understand, so no explanation is possible. The guys who blow up buildings, I imagine, have the same attitude.
All right. I'm going to tell you this, Dave. I got to put you on the track. This is not the whole answer, but you are close enough so that in good conscience, if nobody gets any better, I'd give you the prize. But it's possible to get better. So I'm going to put you on hold and ask Linda if she'll take down your phone number. Will you stay tuned until about 3:15?
All righty.
And then we'll let you know at that time. Thanks very much. Let's see if we can get one more in before we take the 3 o'clock break. On line 10, Leo. Welcome to the Leonard Peikoff Show. Are you there, Leo?
Hi.
Hi.
I think the answer lies in the mind-body split. The one group tries to control people. Ayn Rand made the distinction between the men...
A little louder and slower, please.
Ayn Rand made the distinction between the mystics of muscle and the mystics of spirit.
Oh, well, you've done a lot of reading of her, right?
Yeah, that's in Atlas Shrugged.
Yes.
Does.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
So
how would you apply that? The mystics of muscle, according to her, were really the communist type, the materialists, who say there is no mind, and the mystics of spirit were the religious type. Well, how would you apply that to these three examples?
Well, the mob, the rioters.
The mob is what?
Mystics of muscle.
And the violent at sporting events?
But they're the mystics of muscle. They try to get whatever they want, their whim, by brute violence.
All right.
And the legislating of morality is they're the mystics of spirit because they try to get whatever they want through legislation or through philosophy.
Well, it's a nice try, Leo, but Leo, but it doesn't really take us further than what we got before because the difference between two kinds of mystics is not really essential here. So thank you very much. I appreciate your call. We got to stop now. We have a lot more people still want to get in. We're going to stop for station identification. I'm going to give you one more clue, one more concrete after these messages. It's 3:01. My name is Leonard Peikoff. This is our tie-in contest, our monthly tie-in contest. I want to welcome those of you who joined at 3 o'clock. And what we are doing today is a number of concretes, various news events, situations, and I am asking people what is the deepest philosophic common denominator, uniting them all, and people call in. Those who are on the track get named as on the track, and the best one is going to win a prize. We're already far into this contest, but let me just review it quickly for those of you who tuned in now. If you want to try to enter, the number is 1-800-540-5438. You still have about 10 minutes to enter, or in the 818 area code 956-KIEV. And these are the three examples we've done so far. Increasing violence at sporting events, where fans become hysterical and rush at the other fans or rush down on the field to tear it up. That's one. Youth gang warfare. We took the example of these ethnic groups that feel that all their ideas and values are unique to their particular ethnicity. Then they get in a clash with another group, and there's no way to settle it but a rumble or a war. And then we took the example of government legislation of morality, in which the legislator feels certain things are really crucial, but I'll never get them over to the populace by teaching or persuasion because the people are attuned to this world and they have no access to the spiritual truth of the revelation, and therefore there's no alternative but to mandate this by force of law. What are the common denominators?